106 miles to Chicago. We got a full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes. It's dark, and we're wearing sunglasses. Hit it.
Wow!
Welcome back to the Blues Brothers Minute. This is that show where we watch and discuss the film The Blues Brothers 2 minutes at a time. My name is Tom Taylor, and over here is Mike DiMaria.
Happy Saturday, and this is episode 54, correct?
That's correct.
This is episode 54.
We're all on the same page.
The police car that John Candy and Troopers Daniels and Mount are in is car 55, right?
That's right.
So we're on episode 54. They're driving a police car 55, and then there's the famous, car 54, where are you? And there's a lot of cars that get smashed up in here, and I'm assuming that it's probably 54 cars that got destroyed in this episode.
You have to assume so.
Minute. So
that level of detail has always been a part of this film. I should also point out, not to jump ahead, we haven't even introduced our third host, but this is all taking that shot driving into the truck is shot on Illinois 53. So you got 53, 54, 55. It's good to be alive.
Are you sure? Because they say Route 47.
They say whatever they want, but where it was filmed was Illinois 53.
Okay.
At Dundee Road in Buffalo Grove. But we'll get there. Dan, would you like to get there with us? Dan Lewis, our other co-host?
Use of unnecessary violence in the apprehension of the Blues Brothers is approved.
Has been approved.
Has been approved. Yeah, I don't think of myself as the third host, but okay, go ahead.
Well, not third, like it's not a ranking. It's just there's three of us, and you haven't said your name
ranking
yet.
Is implied, though.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, I've begged you, either one of you, over and over again, to be the one to start these things.
That's a good point.
And I don't even ask anyone.
In light of that, I'd like to think of myself as tied for the second host.
All right. Tom Taylor and the co-host. That's my new name.
Whoever you want. At this point, I'm barely here.
It sounds like you're barely here.
Emotionally, mentally, physically, I'm barely here. But I'm still going to carry the shit show.
Beautiful. So. We should say as we're recording this, it is Easter weekend. Happy Easter, fellas.
Yeah.
Yeah. Blessings of the season upon you. Or happy Passover.
Now, what's Easter again?
Just happy springtime.
Easter's, that's when Jesus rose from the dead. He was dead, and then.
Yes.
All right. I get them a lot mixed up. They're very mixed. They work together. This Ash Wednesday, and then the Good Friday, and then the terrible Taco Tuesday. I think it's one of the things in there.
All right, let's take it easy now.
Well, I'm just saying.
Spock Saturday.
Yeah.
I think I said before that Ash Wednesday always freaked me out. I always, like, even as a kid, like way before I lost my faith, I would be confused sitting there in church by Ash Wednesday, because they put the ash on your forehead and they say, hey, now remember, the tradition is to keep this on your head as long as you can, for the rest of the day, keep it on your forehead. And then in the readings for that day, it seemed like every year it was all about, hey, don't go out into the streets and brag about what a good Christian you are and stuff. Just you do it in secret, or, don't make a big deal out of it. I'm like, how do you just told me to literally declare it on my forehead for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
I'm really confused.
Huh. You mean to tell me that there are some contradictions the church is teaching?
Yeah. I there was around then that the contradictions began to pile up, and I started to look around, and no one else seemed to be confused, but I was very confused.
To this day, that first person I see wandering around with the ashes on their head, I don't know what's happening until it takes a couple seconds for me to go, oh, yeah.
Oh, right.
I go, oh, right. They're wearing like a ritualistic ashes on their head, wandering around. I'm sorry, but that's just... What are you doing? All right, sorry. I know. I'm not here to disparage anybody's religion, but come on. It's a little ridiculous, isn't it?
I'm trying to walk the line. We got some obvious weirdness going on, but also it means a lot to some people.
It's patently ridiculous. Sorry. Go ahead. Sorry. that's just. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, and until you need it, right?
Oh yeah, until I need it, exactly. There are no atheists in foxholes, right?
That's right.
What he's saying right now. Yes,
Everyone's got smudges on their head in the foxholes.
Well, that's the idea until you need it, is what you mean.
No, yeah. I was just playing the other side.
Okay.
Oh, all right.
That's fine.
I'm going through my
Angel's
own
advocate
journey right now.
Yeah.
No.
Mike reporting from the foxholes.
Yeah. Mike, it sounds like Mike's in a foxhole of his own digging.
Some kind of hole.
What do you mean?
What do you mean? What do I mean?
What do you mean? What does he mean?
Yeah, come on.
I don't mean to. Do I? No, because you usually make fun of the way that my mic sounds. Do I sound like I'm in a tunnel or something?
Oh, that is. Mike has
like,
a good point. There are multiple things that we can be making fun of right now.
Right. Does my mic sound okay? Because that's what I'm asking.
Mic sounds okay.
Okay.
The mic right now sounds okay.
I know what you're getting at then. Okay, fine.
All right.
Yes. The not the sound of your words, but the words themselves.
Oh, and I agree. I've dug my own foxhole. I've dug my own hole.
Oh. No, right, listen, I didn't mean that.
I think Dan just set Mike back about 5 years by acknowledging that maybe he was in some kind of hole of his own digging.
Yeah, thanks for that.
I'm sorry.
Cheers
Way
to
to go,
that.
Dan.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Like I don't think about it every minute, at least God damn it, 10 seconds of every minute of every day.
During that part where you heard the guy go, "God damn it," you were just in both foxholes.
You were
just now.
You were straddling the literal and metaphysical foxholes. Yeah. That was poetically timed. Well done, microphone.
Right, well, I don't care. I don't want to hear. Right. Is it better now?
All right.
Yeah, it's better.
Listen, let's talk about the Blues Brothers, you guys.
Okay.
There'll be plenty of time to meander into foxholes later on.
Sorry about that.
This is episode 54. This is minutes 125 and 126 of the Blues Brothers. I'd argue these are two of the best minutes of the movie. Elwood announces that he has to pull over, which means he pulls over off the highway onto another highway, causing a massive pileup of cop cars, during which Burton, Mercer, and troopers Daniels and Mount end up in the back of a truck. Mm-hmm. We hear that the use of unnecessary force in the apprehension of the Blues Brothers has been approved. We see the mounted police, boat police, everybody piling up in Chicago. They drive through a roadblock, past McCormick Place, where I was just at Star Wars Celebration, and they head under Lower Wacker Drive. And that's what we cover in these 2 minutes.
And they turn their lights on.
Which you need to do when you get to Lower Wacker.
And when you're Ubering, when you're an Uber driver, Lower Wacker Drive is a complete and utter nightmare.
Oh, why? How so?
First of all, because your GPS cuts out down there.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Second of all, when you're following GPS, you never know if it's upper or lower Wacker.
Oh, man,
right,
really?
So GPS sometimes you're picking. Know that, right?
Can't differentiate. Yeah, so you might be picking somebody up upstairs, but all of a sudden you're down below.
Now wait, I've used like Uber and Lyft and stuff, and when you're at the airport, they get very specific. They're like, oh, okay, so you're at whatever, the United terminal, but then there's like a little menu of like, are you at this door or arrivals or departures? So they can't do that with like Wacker Drive. They know that's a thing.
Well, I don't know. The GPS doesn't understand that one's on top of each other. I know, but like when the person orders the car, they should be able to specify like, hey, I'm at this intersection, but I'm under the surface of the earth. You're not going to pick anybody up under Lower Wacker, but it takes you down there sometimes.
Oh, okay.
And then you realize, oh my God, they're upstairs. They're up on top. Oh. And then it's like, then it's a complete like.
Sorry.
Then they're always like, what are you doing? They're like, because they watch you. They're like, you were driving around in a big. I go, dude, I was on the Lower Wacker. Okay, give me some slack.
Yeah, they ought to be, because when you tell Lyft or Uber that you're going to the airport, they ask you what terminal. They get very specific.
Yeah.
Once you put in Wacker Drive, there should be a thing that kicks in. Chicago's a big enough city. There should be a thing that kicks in that says upper. It makes you choose upper or lower.
That's what I'm saying.
Usually you're only picking up on upper. There's nothing to. Right. There's nowhere to pick up.
No one's wandering around in Lower Wacker Drive like a naked mole rat. Right.
But it takes you down there. But it takes you down there as part of the path, so it doesn't.
Okay, but then you as the driver, if you know that you're picking up someone on quote unquote Lakeshore Wacker Drive, should you just assume that you're going to be on upper and ignore any directions to lower?
Well, there's a lot of things that go under lower. It's not only Wacker, it's also Columbus. There's Illinois that goes underneath. So, and then you're driving like, okay, I'm following this, and then all of a sudden you just like arrive at your destination. All of a sudden you're like, oh crap, it's like so fast. Like, crap, they're upstairs. I'm like on Lower Illinois or something. Yeah. It's upstairs or it's up on Michigan Avenue.
Illinois, yeah.
Grief.
Illinois and down there in Wack. That's where I used to park my bike to go to work. God damn it. Takes me back.
It's a beautiful thing. Batman had a chase down there.
Yeah, that's right.
We'll get there. I should point out that I didn't realize that this at the end of our last episode, but I mentioned that I counted the cop cars in this outside shot, this daytime shot of them chasing the Blues Brothers. That shot is actually not in the theatrical version of the movie. It cuts right from Henry Gibson jumping out of his seat to Elwood announcing that he has to pull over.
Oh,
just a little note about version control.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Did we already have that scene where Henry Gibson's painting the eagle?
He painted the eagle hours ago. Months ago. Yeah, he was painting the eagle when he found out about, Andy's a Catholic.
Oh, but we already had this. That's when they went to That's when they went to Wrigley.
Yeah.
Right, but so
here
we've already had
to the radio.
Okay, we already had that scene, so they're mobilized. They're on their way, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
We don't see them in these minutes, but yeah, we know they're on their way.
Yeah, see, I'm not grasping things.
It's we suggested, I think last time, that watching a high-speed chase scene week to week in 2-minute chunks might be a little disorienting and might take some of the piss and vinegar out of the excitement. So it's understandable if you're a little disoriented.
Okay, I'll go with that.
Yeah, go with that. It has nothing to do with the foxhole you've dug yourself into.
Yeah, let's just go with that.
All right.
Okay.
Oh yeah, this pile. Okay, so yeah, I mentioned this is like one of the best sections of the movie, and it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, gleeful fun to watch the destruction of all these cars just flying into each other, landing on each other, flipping over onto each other. It's like a giant kid in his backyard has these cars as like his Matchbox cars, and he's just going berserk with them.
Well, what's also kind of fantastical is, okay, so they left the ballroom, right?
Yeah.
So what time do you think that was when they left it? Show was just starting, so it's probably about 10 o'clock?
Yeah, maybe, yeah. It probably says the time on the poster that's part of our logo, and I'm not going to know the answer, so.
The chase began immediately, right?
Yeah.
So they drove through the night. So that's a good 6 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And then they said it was 136 miles. Is that what it was? Is that what he says?
The point is the chase started. So they've been with those sirens going the entire time. They've really gained no ground on them. They're just following them back to Chicago, right?
Yeah. It's like, I wonder where they're going.
Right. And then Jake falls asleep, which is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
He's able just to nod out during a high-speed chase.
Mm-hmm. That's admirable.
And so you think, okay, so even if it's let's just say it's midnight when they left. It's 6 a.m., sun's coming up, so 6 hours of driving.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
At a very high speed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We're all on the same page.
That works.
Yeah. I see what you're saying.
I mean, I don't know if there's anything to contradict that necessarily.
No,
I'm just saying it's an amazing chase.
Yeah. It is.
It's a lot.
And they've gained no ground on them. They've just been a few cars back the entire time.
Well, that's because they all have cop brakes, cop engine, cop shocks.
Right. They're evenly matched.
Yeah, so they're going at the exact same speed.
Right.
Yeah.
And
it's like Battlestar Galactica, only fast.
Right.
All right.
Look it up.
Yeah, it's a lot longer than the race in Bullet. You don't see a lot of these time jumps during car races or car chases where
true.
You cut to the clock and you see the clock dissolve into another shot of the clock.
Yeah. Hour 5 of the car chase.
Right.
Elwood's still driving. I took a nap. That's my Jake impression.
They went from a use of necessary violence not being approved to use of necessary violence being approved to use of unnecessary violence not being approved to use of unnecessary violence being approved. They've gone through.
There should be a little gauge in the corner of the screen.
Right. Yeah.
They keep bringing it up to they keep phoning the mayor at the mayor's office, and they have his aides around him. Like, now? And he's like, no. He's
and the first shot is
he's just sweating.
Yeah.
He's chewing on his fingernails. Like, now can we use unnecessary force?
Yeah.
No.
In the first shot, he's at dinner.
And then
in the second shot, he's getting ready for bed. In the third shot, he's having coffee with his pajamas in the morning.
He's just sitting in his chair, and his aides are around him. Now, can we do it? Not yet.
Big cigar.
Got an election coming up.
Yeah, right.
Then,
The people would crucify me if I had allowed unnecessary force against the Blues Brothers.
For God's sakes.
We've got the horses ready to go, Your Honor. Just give us the word.
Right.
Are the horses the unnecessary force?
Yeah, the horses are unnecessary.
Approved.
Release the boats.
Release the boats and the horses.
Yeah.
That is unnecessary. I think those are both unnecessary.
Use the National Guard. We use the National Guard, the Coast Guard.
Yeah.
The reserves.
Guard.
But we ain't using the horses.
Yeah,
that would be unnecessary.
But we don't want the Irish.
We don't want the
Blazing
Irish.
Saddles. I was just going to say the same thing.
But we don't want the
That's
Irish.
the most racist line in that movie, too.
I don't know. I mean, there's a lot
Can't
going
even
on
repeat
there.
it.
Can't you
We'll
see
take
this
the
man as a meat?
bleeps. We'll take the bleeps and the bleeps, and we don't want the Irish. No.
All right,
All
them
right.
two.
Everybody starts shaking hands.
Yankee bean soup, coleslaw, and tuna surprise.
Piss on you. I work for Mel Brooks.
Oh, that's an actual good movie.
Yeah.
Anyway,
You
sorry.
guys wish you were doing that.
Oh, in case.
I was just a guest on the show that's doing that movie minute by minute.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. Piss on
Oh,
you.
plug it.
The Wilder minute. The Wilder ride. The Wilder ride.
It's all Gene Wilder, or
It's all Gene Wilder. They've already done Young Frankenstein, and now they're doing Blazing Saddles.
Are they only doing Gene Wilder in Mel Brooks films, or are they doing all of Gene Wilder?
No, so far that's what it's been.
Whatever.
They may do Lady
Woman
in
in
Red
Red.
next. We don't know. Woman in Red. Whatever. She's in red.
I'm thinking of the song.
Some dame in red.
The Woman in Red.
But yeah.
What about another You? Are they going to do another You?
God, which one's that? Haunted
That's the
Honeymoon?
one where. No, that was him and. It was him and.
What's
oh
her
my
name?
God, I'm losing my mind. No, I'm
No, me
losing
too.
my mind.
Gilda Radner.
No.
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 Oh my God.
Oh God.
Mike, it's okay.
His partner, his big partner.
Richard Pryor.
Oh my God, I'm losing my mind. Yes.
Richard Pryor.
Yeah.
They made a movie called Another You?
Another You, and
I never
he
heard
plays
of it.
and Richard Pryor's blind and he's deaf.
No, that's not Another You. That's See No Evil.
No Evil.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. But there is
Well,
another
you are
movie
losing
called,
it. I wasn't worried about you before. Now I think you're nuts.
Yeah.
What the hell's the matter with you, Mike? Jesus.
when he comes out and he has to lip read that what do you think about the Ayatollah? What do you think about what Ayatollah Khomeini's doing? I don't know what you're talking about, but a good comedy, as you call it, is worth its weight in gold.
Was there or wasn't a woman? Are you serious? Fuzzy Wuzzy was a woman?
Are they going to do Haunted Honeymoon?
I hope so. God damn it, I hope so.
Silver Streak for sure.
Silver Streak.
That's a good one.
Oh.
Stir Crazy. It's funny going back to movies like Stir Crazy that have like large pot-based jokes that you absolutely didn't get as a kid, but you laughed anyway. And now you watch them as an adult, you're like, oh, right. Okay.
Which jokes are you thinking of there?
There's something in Stir Crazy, like early on when like Richard Pryor is like, he's working in the kitchen of some mansion, oregano, I think. And somebody dumps his stash into like, they think it's oregano and they put it into the salad or something. Yeah.
Oh, right.
And I just sort of laughed like, oh, his leaves of something got put into the thing. I didn't get it at all.
But you knew something.
But I laughed because I wanted to be cool.
You get it from context.
He referred to it as, and he referred it to ganja.
Yeah. Does he really in that movie? Ganja.
Yeah, ganja.
No wonder I didn't
get it. There's a priest at the dinner, and
I was a grass kid myself.
Yeah. There's a priest at the dinner, and he's getting all loose, and
nothing's funnier than a stoned priest.
And this old woman's like eating the salad with her hands.
Is that what would happen if you were exposed unexpectedly to marijuana?
It just turned into a stone groove.
There's a bit of a reefer madness going on there.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know.
You think Richard Pryor would have stepped in and said, hey, listen, it's not exactly what would happen. Believe me, I know.
Are we ending the show? You just said, hey, listen, are we ending the show?
I did say, hey, listen. No, that was Richard Pryor saying, hey, listen. There's nothing on, there are no words on it. There's just grass all over it.
Sucks.
I've been taken to task in my life, and as I'm doing these minute by minute shows, for people think that, okay, there's this joke in Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Joke is in quotes, where maybe you'll remember it, where Indiana Jones is trying to bash through the floor of this marble floor in this library. And to cover it up, he's doing it supposedly in time with a librarian stamping a book with a rubber stamp. And so the librarian stamps the book, and there's a huge giant clanging sound, and he comes to the point where he thinks that he's making that sound, and he puts his stamp down. And it's hysterical. It's really funny. It's the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life, and it's just dumb. And everybody's mad at me because I don't like that joke because I think it's stupid. Here, the stuff happening in this scene is stupid, but it's fantastic. They're like troopers, Daniel and Mount and Burton Mercer. There's no part of physics that would allow their car to like leap the way it does into that truck, or even for those cars. Like, there's no reason for those cars to be driving over the embankment like that. There's no reason for any of this. This wouldn't happen, but it's fantastic, and I wouldn't change a thing. It's the kind of movie where that's funny.
Well, it's also real, so you're seeing the cars actually smash up too, which is kind of
I like that.
And, the first car that goes over the embankment and tips over, they would just stop.
So
it's like every single car has to go.
Yeah,
part of me
loves their lesson.
Part of me loves that crunch of the car, that real physical crunch of one car, like crunching like a tin can into another one.
Oh God, me too.
There's something satisfying about it where you wouldn't see it in movies now. You wouldn't get that kind of thing. I don't know how else to explain it. It's like now they do this thing where it's like it's movies referencing themselves in a way. It's like their idea of what a car crash would look like if it were sort of movie-fied and exploded to the point where it's cartoonish. You don't just have that like physical, non-flammable just crunch of a car into another one.
Yeah. So you got that car, the cop car smashing into the truck, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nice, satisfying crunch right into the side of the cab.
Yeah.
Of the side of the payload there.
Yeah.
Now, inside that car, there was some mayhem that happened. So you got the one cop, I don't know if it's Daniel's, his hat is just down over, his hat just came apart. But he's still sitting exactly where he was.
Yeah.
But the driver of the car, we'll call him Mount.
Yeah.
Was completely spun around. His feet are up in the air facing the other way.
Yeah.
His head is
feet
down by
are
the
up
pedals.
by the headrest.
His
head is down by the pedals.
Yeah.
So he's clearly probably dead.
He might be dead. Although he does hand him a microphone, so he's okay.
Right. And John Candy's in the back. And I always thought, because the way he would talk to him, like he was, when he said, "Hi, how you doing?" I always felt like he's talking to somebody he doesn't know. So I thought they smashed into the cab and he's talking to the driver of the truck.
Oh yeah. I think I thought that for a while too. That's funny.
I used to think that. And
you used to
but
think,
he's like, "Hey, how you doing?" I used to think that he's talking to the driver of the truck because they smashed right into the truck.
But they're like now connected.
Right.
Because he's like, "Hey, how you doing? Can you hand me that microphone? Thanks." He's talking to somebody he doesn't know.
Yeah.
But it's just he's just trying to be a total asshole. So he's talking to the guy who's driving. That was his way of saying, "Nice driving, asshole."
Yeah. Before you die, hand me that microphone.
Yeah. Before I kill you.
And the truck driver just keeps going down the highway. Like,
why not?
Yeah.
I've got this shipment of air. I need to get there on time.
Yeah. Well, I think you see a microwave box behind the one trooper's head in the cab.
Oh, okay.
Or some
brand new invention at that point.
Yeah. That was.
He probably just thought that was his payload he's supposed to pick up.
Right.
I'm picking up a cop car somewhere on.
Just drive down Highway 55, whatever it is, and we'll helicopter will meet you there and drop your payload.
Just like Spy Hunter.
I know we're all having fun here.
Are we?
But I'll just point out that like the scene, I think I complained about this a couple times, and also in Chez Paul. But Burton Mercer's they've got a great setup here. Like Mike says, Daniel and Mount are all in funny position. Daniel, I think, has the hat exploded on his head, which is a classic old kind of vaudevillian sort of gag.
Yeah.
The other guy's impossibly has his feet up in the driver's seat with his head presumably underneath the where the gas pedal is.
Yeah.
But then you get Burton Mercer gets a line, and what do they do with this line? What do? They have a chance to do a line. I'm certain that if you give decent writers 5 minutes to sit around in a room, they can come up with a line that is funny here. But what you get is what? Like
we're in a truck.
54, we're in a truck. It's just like, nah,
you know what though? I laugh at
anything.
that. It's okay. The line isn't fantastic, but John Candy delivering that line is funny.
Well, I like John Candy as a separate issue, but
I'm saying that
something on the order of this is I don't know. I can't think of it, but it's this is Burton Mercer, or this is Officer Mercer, Detective Mercer.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to put in for tomorrow off, or anything. you could do any number of jokes. I just feel like it's a wasted opportunity. You're going to go this far and do all these jokes, and you're not going to write a decent line there, something funny,
or he quits or something right there.
Yeah, he quits. Right.
I'm too old for this shit.
Right.
Something classic.
That was 2 days from retirement.
Yeah.
I quit.
I also like how I kind of don't hate that. Yeah. I think that's good, and it's also it's a little tragic. I wish I could. We nailed down a few weeks ago which one was true, which one was Mountain, which one was Daniels. But whoever's driving does a great. He's the only guy to not end up in that pile up, and then he ends up in a truck. It's a little tragic. Yeah.
I love that pile up though too.
God, it's good. It's just.
Also note that the dispatcher is watching the Blues Brothers.
He's watching the Blues Brothers on TV. Yeah.
Yeah, he's watching a clip of the cars turn around.
Yeah.
Well, the cop cars.
It's just like Spaceballs.
Like they've got 1970s TV cameras all over the city, and he can watch the thing that's happening.
Yeah.
He's got video assist.
God, that's funny. That's really weird. Why do you even put that there? He's got a computer with like readouts and stuff. You don't have to know he's looking at something. That's silly. Right. This movie's garbage. Yeah. No, it's not.
I agree.
And the horses coming out in the boats, that's all ridiculous, but it's very funny. This is the unnecessary force.
That all leads up to the end. At the end, it's everybody's chasing.
Yeah.
That's the whole joke.
It's all patently ridiculous, but it's all really funny. It's done well, damn it.
Yeah. I mean, I like the joke that everyone's chasing them, like suddenly every single cop.
All right, well, you know what? I didn't even think about this, though. So what day of the week is the show?
Oh, God.
At the ballroom. Is it a day of the week, or is it a Friday or Saturday? Find out. Could you go back to the poster? Is it on there?
Find out.
Can somebody pull up the poster?
It does not say anywhere. It says tonight only, just like the graffiti that Tucker McGill wrote. Tonight only. That can mean anything.
No one's gonna wash the graffiti.
Yeah.
So
all right,
it can't forever be tonight.
It's tonight, Mike.
Well, how does that feed into your? I have to assume that it's either a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday.
Why is that?
Interesting detective work here.
Because the assessor's office would not be open on a Saturday.
Oh, my God. You're right.
Yep. Very good point.
So I was just trying to see if they mentioned anything about what day of the week.
So they got 5,000 people to go out on a school night to see some blues cover band. That's even more impressive.
Look, it could be a Sunday, right?
Well, I guess it could be. Yeah, but still, it's still a school night.
I'm walking. Yeah, it could be. But
it can't be Friday. And it can't be Saturday.
Right.
Your two biggest gig nights.
Maybe that's why they got the Palace Ballroom for so cheap, because it was on an off night.
I mean, it could be a summer. So, and they went out to that, it's kind of like a beach town or like a vacation town, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wazapamam.
You're not going to get many people from Chicago driving up there to see the show. So that's all.
It's all locals.
It's all locals. Yeah. It has to be.
Yeah, they're not driving up that night to Wazapamani, which is quite a ways away, right? So another good point. So very difficult to figure out what's going on here.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it has to be a long way because they drove through the night to get back to Chicago.
Yeah.
And
oh God,
if they were coming from if they were coming from Wisconsin, which is where they were coming from, why the hell would they be all the way down by McCormick Center?
Yeah, that's true. That's a good question. The map that we have, I think our listener Scott Van Dyke posted a nice locations of the Blues Brothers site for us, and it notes that they are nowhere near where they should be when they enter the city. Yeah, McCormick Place. I went to Star Wars Celebration this past weekend. It was fun. It was nerdy.
How was it?
It was really cool. It was good. I went with my son and my wife and his friend, and met some nerds. I actually met. Speaking of nerds, I met Elizabeth and Brian, two of our listeners. There was a Star Wars Minute.
First time you met him?
Yeah, I'd never met him before. They just came up and introduced themselves. I wasn't even in costume, and I was getting recognized at Star Wars Celebration. But yeah, Elizabeth. I'm not sure Elizabeth listens to this show, but she's a listener of the Caddyshack Minute, and yeah, Brian, who lives in Joliet, he's listening to both, and he's a big fan.
How did they connect Joliet with our Brian. Show? Did they?
Wait, what? Who? Yeah, Joliet Brian.
Joliet Brian.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. So how did they get connected with the show? Did you know them ahead of time or no?
I did not. No. They there was a Star Wars Minute live recording as part of the program of the celebration. Mm-hmm. So a bunch of like-minded podcast nerds were there. And I was just there to see those guys, and then a few people just kept coming up to me like, there's some Indiana Jones Minute fans and stuff. There's a lot of crossover. Those Venn diagrams sort of overlap. And
no, but what I was saying was, how did they find our show? Did they find it
good question. I think gosh, I'm not sure. The fact that they were both at the Star Wars Minute thing makes me think that they were fans of them, and then maybe became fans of the Indiana Jones Minute. And then from that, they followed me over to Caddyshack and Blues Brothers. So I'm the glue.
Got it.
They're fans of me, not yours. That's not true.
All right.
What did they say about the show? They say anything?
Bacon.
They love it. They love the show.
Keep it up. I said keep it up.
Keep it up. Yeah.
Look it up.
All right. Keep it up. Look it up. Keep it up.
It was good to meet them. Hello to both of you.
That's nice. That's good.
Yeah.
Well, that's nice. It's nice to meet that. Tom, can I make a suggestion?
Yes.
When you go to these things, you should carry the little portable tape recorder.
I know. I thought about doing that, but it's
do a quick thing with the listeners, and maybe give them a featured spot on the air if you get some interesting answers.
Yeah, I was really expecting all that.
He's got one. He's got one. It's called his phone. It has a memo on it.
And I have another one. I have an actual thing. Yeah,
but he has a special one too.
That's right. Dan saw it.
That we went to.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. All right.
Mm-hmm.
It was very. It's a hectic scene. Those things. Those huge, massive nerd conventions. It's dizzying.
Yeah,
you can't think straight.
I would imagine there's a sort of Professor Frink like buzz in the air.
Yeah. Oh, you know what's fantastic? The biggest missed opportunity. Yes, I missed recording our fans for the show, but I also missed seeing there were a couple of guys. It's cosplay all over the place. Darth Vader's and stuff and everything. Just walking around, Admiral Akbar's, Nine Numbs, whatever you can mention. And there were a couple of guys who I only got to see from a distance, but people kept telling me, "Hey, did you see these guys? They were the Blues Brothers, but they were Imperial Blues Brothers with they were just dressed as Jake and Elwood, but they had like a little Imperial insignia on their lapels, and they had the black Imperial officer caps instead of
That's next hats. Level nerdlinger right there.
Yeah.
They were like following behind the SS Nerdlinger in a little rowboat.
Yep. It was beautiful.
Jeez.
Somebody posted a picture on our on the listeners' hole, the Blues Brothers listeners' hole.
What possesses a person to go to those lengths?
I think that's gorgeous.
God bless them.
I don't know. I think they're just enjoying life.
I think they are.
Yeah, I know, right?
Don't
annoys you, doesn't it?
No, it doesn't.
Me a little bit. People
they went home and played some Correspondence Battleship.
No, it doesn't annoy me anymore. It's just what I should have been doing all this time.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is that what you haven't been doing? You haven't been enjoying yourself?
Start now, Mike.
No, I've been criticizing and not enjoying.
It is fun to criticize.
Almost. Yes.
Why aren't you starting?
I am going to. As soon as this show's over, I want to get outside.
Oh, sweet. All right. Yeah. Find an Easter egg hunt. Just barrel into it. Uninvited.
Okay.
There you go. Nice deep breath. For those who care, the lower Wacker entrance that they use is at the south end near Van Buren. There you go. Okay. And that nice shot of the river.
For those who don't care.
Oh, for those who don't care, you should rewind. Don't listen to that part and skip to now. We're no longer talking about that.
Right.
The shot of the boats on the river always makes me think of the years that I worked, or was it like 500 Madison or something? It was like right on the river, and there was a Wendella boat that was like a commuter thing that would take you from there to Michigan Avenue. And it was absolutely out of my way. It was not part of my commute, but every once in a while I would do it anyway just to do it because it was fun in the summertime.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Oh, the boat?
Yeah.
I love those tours. I went on that tour at least a couple times.
Sure.
The architecture tour.
Yeah,
I love
it's a great tour. Yeah.
It is.
Then they have
it's so fun.
You see the boat going. You got the old Britannica building on the left there that
Yeah.
That like red earth tone building, and then you have the Marina City, the corn cob.
Yeah.
Yep.
Apartments or condos up there too.
It'd be fun to just once attempt parking in the corn cob, like where your car is just right on the edge of oblivion. Like one wrong move and you're in the drink.
I think they have a guardrail there.
They seem to have like a little wire or something. Yeah.
You may recognize this building from the another in a long line of overrated Wilco albums.
Dan doesn't like Wilco.
I just don't understand.
I don't get the Wilco thing either. I know people who are religiously devoted to Wilco, and I don't.
Yeah,
I've heard like one or two songs, and they might be fine, or they might be nothing.
Some of it's fine, but it's a weird thing to get that into.
Yeah. I guess you could say that about anything that other people are into that you're not into, but still.
Well, I think
that's where I am.
I think the Uncle Tupelo split. The Uncle Tupelo split. A lot of people went Jeff Tweedy in it. Some people went Jay Farrar. I mean, I like Sunvolt a lot better.
Mike's reading from a Mad Libs that I had no involvement in. Right. I don't know any of these words he's saying.
No, Uncle Tupelo was the band. Jeff Tweedy.
Yeah, I remember.
Oh, okay.
Jay Farrar was the other singer. And when they split, they both formed bands. One was Sunvolt, and the other was Wilco.
Okay.
This is like when you take a cutting off of a tree. You could make it's like two bad bands forming out. You get two bad bands and cut them, and now you've got four bad bands.
Why are both of these apples disgusting?
It doesn't stop until somebody, I don't know.
Yeah, to start with a new tree.
Uses some Roundup on it or something.
Can we please have a new tree? Is it that hard?
Well, I like Sunvolt.
All right.
Give it a listen. Give it a listen.
Fair.
Listen to the album Trace.
Give it a listen.
The album Trace, front to back. Excellent album.
Really?
Yeah, it's a very good album.
When's that even from? What year are we talking?
90s.
Okay. Fair enough.
All right. Sunvolt. Huh?
Things were different in the 90s.
I'll look it up.
Post a sampling, will you, Mike, in the listeners' hole?
I'm not posting much
Just
anymore.
Just do it. I know, me neither. I feel like we should, though. Oh, I didn't post something. Oh, I got to post something from last week. I was going to post the Rush's induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. That made me cry. I'll get there.
You did.
I put it in the episode.
You did.
Yeah, that's enough.
I did.
Oh, you put it in the, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah.
That was brilliant. That was really smart of me.
That was really good.
I'm really good at this.
Well edited.
Thank you.
I got what you liked about it.
Yeah. It's nice.
Yeah, I got it.
You know what? Another one of those happened at Celebration. I missed it, but the woman who plays Rose in The Last Jedi, she was vilified online by trolls and monsters and awful people who thought she was the worst and she should die and everything. And then she came out on stage for Celebration.
I want to ask you about that when you're done, but go ahead.
Okay, she came out on stage for Celebration. There was a panel on Friday that I wasn't there for episode 9. And she got a standing ovation, and she was crying, and everybody loved her and everything, and it was great. There's a lot of positivity at Star Wars Celebration. It was indeed a celebration. Anyway, that outpouring of emotion kind of got me in a similar way to Rush. Not quite as much as Rush, because Rush is fantastic and awesome. I like Rose and everything, but still, it's not Rush.
Yeah.
Now, what do you want to say?
Yeah. Well, I didn't really. It's one of those. You know how like a lot of news stories you sort of tangentially know about them. You've seen a couple of headlines and it's sort of there on the side, and you're not interested enough to look into it.
Yeah,
because you can't look into everything. But always a little bit in my head, I thought, so what was? I don't really even understand what the thing was with Rose. Like there was a character Rose. She's in these movies, and then somebody was mad about it.
Yeah.
So did she say something or do something to get people mad?
To my understanding, she did nothing. She just appeared in the movie and. Lately, I mean, I don't know. The internet loves to be angry about stuff, and they love to be angry about Star Wars. And so when people, I mean, it's like the Russians interfering in the election. I think the Russians were interfering with Star Wars, and I think there's just like a lot of like out of nowhere hatred for women and other races, and like, they hated Laura Dern in The Last Jedi, they hated Rose in The Last Jedi, and they were just dicks. They're just assholes online.
I guess what I mean is I don't like what you're saying, that because they're women and because they're because Rose is Asian.
Yeah,
that makes it a.
I think that was like 95% of their beef, and also just that I think some people just didn't like The Last Jedi, and they were blaming everybody they could.
I hope this doesn't sound. I know this. I'm not trying to sound. I'm not trying to sound ignorant, like too. I don't know.
I'm cozying up next to Mike in his foxhole just in case. Okay, go ahead.
What is the what is the reason that I don't even understand the race thing? Like what or the woman is the argument that there shouldn't be anybody that are women in those movies? I don't understand that.
Being a like-minded,
there's always been women in Star Wars.
There's always been a woman in Star Wars. I think people are reacting. This is not me sharing their views. This is me trying to understand their views. I think people are reacting to what they see as a sudden, unnatural, forced, liberal, agenda-based influx of other genders and races into what has been traditionally been a white male, face of action films and science fiction films and everything.
Wow,
that's my understanding.
That's not only extremely stupid. You don't, of course, you don't need me to say,
right?
But it's also if you're going to do something stupid and it is an incredible waste of time and an incredibly pointless context in which to do it.
I agree.
Do you know what I mean? That's not how revolutions are. Let's say you want to start a pro-white revolution.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even start with Star Wars. I'd go with something else.
Yeah, maybe the House of Representatives or something. I don't know.
Yeah, right. Or something else. Don't go, my God, this is how it starts. This is the bellwether.
This is our Boston Tea Party.
Yeah. Not Star Wars.
First, they took my Star Trek and they put Uhura in there.
Yeah.
Then they came for Star Wars.
These people, if they're going to be mad at anything, they ought to have been mad about Ewoks.
Oh my God! Well, some of them were.
Now that I am against.
Yeah, come on.
I'm speciesist against Ewoks.
Right.
Yeah.
they're fictional enough that I don't feel bad hating them for their race.
If there was an online, I would have gone to it to register my disgust.
I wrote an angry letter to Bantha Tracks magazine, the Star Wars newsletter back in the day.
Right. It's just that's ridiculous.
It is
I didn't
really
know
ridiculous.
that was a thing. I knew that somebody was mad at her, but I assumed it was something where she said something or something happened.
No, people just go after people.
Just out of the blue because she's Asian.
Yeah.
Well, I'm trying to figure it out now. I'm trying to look at it, but it doesn't really say why. But she left Instagram like she totally just.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like where stuff like that will happen, and you'll lose track of even how it could be happening, and you just go, "What?"
Right.
I don't understand what the. Yeah, because who would bother?
It's like
I guess that combination I don't get, which I've probably made clear already, which is that being that mad, but then focusing in that place. It's just very weird combination.
I have half of that where like I'll get angry about Star Wars, but then I do catch myself. First I catch myself and I'm like, why do I care? This is a stupid movie. But then it's never like addressed to like, if I have like qualms with something that J.J. Abrams does, I don't attack him for his gender or his race. I don't even attack him. I go, J.J., knock it off.
I think what it says here, a shameful harassment campaign mounted against her by whining neckbeards
that right there is offensive.
Oh, this is from Esquire. From the very vocal minority of Star Wars fans who do not agree with the progressive ideals set forth in the refreshingly inclusive, emotionally nuanced film.
Yeah.
Can I stack some more ignorance on top of my previous ignorance?
Please do.
Which is, also, so these types of things, I tend to think there's some people out there saying these things, and I tend to think like it can't be that many people. Like you said, it's a small.
Yeah.
There's no way that you could get enough of a wellspring of. So like, I know this is easy for me to say, but can't you just go, what? Get bent. Do you know what I mean? Like, who cares what the small group of neckbeards thinks about something?
Yeah.
Like, you just go, F you, who cares what you think? Does that matter?
I would like to think that would be my reaction if I was in that position and people were harassing me like that. I mean, you might get sick of like turning on your phone and just being inundated with that stuff, but I mean, you can block people, can't you? And you can...
And I get it's easy for me to say it would make you very sad to hear this thing about your race. And at the same time, I want to say like, what would That's a pointless point of view that has no relevance. But F you. I just tend to think like it'd be easy to go to like sort of put it back, make them into the small thing that they are in the first place. Yeah. There is not a large group of people going, right. I'm pissed off. Nobody in the theater when I saw it booed at the screen.
Yeah, no one left in outrage.
Yeah,
an Asian woman.
That's it. I've had enough. First the Swedish fish, and now this.
Yeah, I mean, even if I'm trying to assume that people aren't all just raging idiots. Like if they did have the sense that Hollywood had a new agenda where they were forcing inclusion into their movies or something, even if that were the case, like why be angry? Like why fight that? Why be angry about okay, maybe there is like a concerted, I'm not saying there is, but if there is a concerted push to say, hey, let's make movies actually more accurately represent what the world is like in terms of inclusion and who's involved in everything, there might be a period where we need to force that a little bit until it's normal. And that's not not wrong.
That does happen.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a weird thing. It's still weird to get upset and bent out of shape about it. But I guess it's easy to do a tweet,
It is, yeah.
If they actually had to like shovel 50 shovelfuls of coal into a furnace in order to generate that kind of anger, they wouldn't do it.
Right. Yeah. There's too much porn to look at to have time to do that.
Right. Sorry.
It's like if you look at like sitcoms or just any TV show from like the 60s or like the early 70s, and you'll see like a black guy playing a doctor, and you're like, oh, that must have freaked some people out back then. That was like probably a decision to cast this guy in this role. I could be totally wrong, and maybe I'm being an idiot and I should get angry letters for that, but that's kind of what it always seemed like to me. Like, oh, at that time, that couldn't have been just a casual thing. Like they decided to cast that guy in that role for a specific reason. And it probably freaked some people out. And for other people, it was probably super awesome.
It might have been on purpose. It might have just been like, I really don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I suppose if, the whole reason you have that whole, I can't operate on this, man. The whole reason you have that is because people would be like, a lady doctor.
Ooh. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's true that
we should point out they had entire All in the Family episodes about both these, about a black doctor and a woman doctor. So it must have been a thing.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Good point.
Well, so I'm just flipping through things, and there's this. So I get Star Wars Episode 9 is coming up, right, Tom?
Sure. December 20th.
The Rise of Skywalker.
Oh boy.
And then there's like some clickbait. There's a clickbait here that says, this theory to the upcoming movie about Palpatine or Lord Palpatine or Emperor Palpatine is whatever his name is.
Yeah.
Is wild. It's like a wild theory. So I click on it, right?
Uh-huh.
And I start reading it, and it just immediately it's like Darth Plagueis was a Dark Lord of the Sith. So, and I immediately like I have all my interest and excitement is just gone.
Yeah.
Just completely destroyed because I can't get into this. Was a Dark Lord of the Sith, so powerful and so wise. He used the Force to influence the mid-chlorians to create a life. Palpatine explains. He had such. I'm like,
If you can't even like
got me in here,
if you can't even get to the same topic with these people, then how are you supposed to have a debate with them?
And I know there's thousands of people that have just loosened their belts all of a sudden, pulled their pants down reading this. It's just like this is their porn, and I'm like, I can't.
Yeah,
I got.
I actually do have strong opinions about just the kind of nerd stuff you're talking about.
Oh, boy.
There's the new preview, and I've got like issues with like, oh, they're bringing back Kylo Ren's helmet. You got to be kidding me! And then I look at myself, I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah.
I could be reading a book. I could be talking to my son. I could go outside.
I'm trying to think of what I'm like that about. I'm trying to be.
You might be that about baseball or something.
Probably baseball, but baseball is a real thing that happens in reality.
What are you talking about?
But Mike, are you like this about anything?
No, I'm not like this about. I'm actually not like this about anything anymore.
Yeah, why would you?
Yeah,
it's crazy. Yeah. I get it though, but doesn't it get diluted a little bit for you over time Tom?
Oh yeah. I think that's where I'm at. I think
there's so many movies where it's like this is the biggest, baddest, and then it's like, oh god, it's really scary, and then it's just the same general idea gets sort of. Yeah.
I think part of the reason I like the Marvel movies so much these days is because I'm not as invested in them. Like I don't have a history with them as a kid as much. I had like just a working knowledge of most of those superheroes and stuff. But Star Wars, I'm like, if you mess with anything from like The Empire Strikes Back, I'm going to be furious. That sort of thing. But yeah, there's so much Star Wars now and so much, just like every single movie that comes out is a big major event. And you're kind of like, can I just take a nap and skip this one? Yeah. It's
but I mean, I understand though, because I just realized that, I mean, it is sort of like, for me, I would say the only thing is like there's bands that I like probably just way more than most people. And then they could come out with that same album over and over again and no one would care except for I would love it the whole time. So,
yeah.
That's probably my thing where I just think, oh my God, it's just incredible. And everyone's like, yeah, it's good.
And then you get mad at the people who go, it's okay.
No.
You think less of them.
I try not to do that.
No.
I try not to do that, no.
We've all got our stuff. We're all friends. Right? Excuse me.
All right, should we do trivia then?
Oh my God, I was just going to say let's do some trivia.
Oh, Mike of all people.
Nicely played, DiMaria. Now, does anybody have any trivia? That's the question.
I'll do it.
Do it. Run with it.
Let's go back to Trivia Crack, shall we?
I like it. Trivia Crack. I don't know if we gave them a plug last time. What is that?
It's a game. It's Trivia Crack 2. It's download it. Look it up. So you can play trivia games with different people.
Oh yeah, that's right. Except for remind me, we have a certain amount of time to make these answers, and then we got
you can't be that witty in between questions.
Right.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start. Hold on, let me go back here.
Do we get to pick a genre of question?
Yeah. So you got history, sports, art, entertainment, geography, and science.
I will always say entertainment, but I will defer to my third co-host Dan.
I'll go along with that. I like to watch Tom do the entertainment.
All right, so I don't have a lot of time. So once I push the button, I'm going to say it. Okay.
Go ahead.
All right, man.
All right, here we go. Who sang the song "Where Do Broken Hearts Go"? Jennifer Lopez, Mariah Carey, Toni Braxton, Whitney Houston.
Mariah Carey.
Toni Braxton.
No, that's Whitney Houston. I'm right.
Is it really?
Oh.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Okay, which game console is the oldest? Atari, Nintendo 64, PlayStation 1, Sega Genesis.
Atari,
yeah.
I thought there was going to be some twist at the end. I was waiting for all the options. Yeah. Okay, go.
ColecoVision.
Yeah. What girl group sang the 60s hit He's So Fine? Martha Reeve and the Vandellas, the Shirelles, the Chiffons, and the Supremes.
I could say anyone but the Supremes. I bet it's not the Supremes. Chiffons.
The Chiffons, you're right.
Wow, thank you, Dan.
Okay, what board game contained the character Grandma Nut, Princess Lolly, and Gloppy?
Candyland?
Yep. Candyland.
Yeah,
fucking thing sucks!
Nice.
How did Mr. Fredrickson escape to Paradise Falls in the movie Up?
Oh, with the balloons attached to his house.
All right, we're on a roll.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Yeah.
What city in America is the most dangerous in 2016? East St. Louis, Detroit, Michigan, always Detroit, Cleveland, Ohio, or Orlando, Florida?
How's this entertainment? Detroit.
East St. Louis. East St. Louis.
I say East St. Louis. You're right. Yeah, why is that entertainment? Who sang Jack and Diane, the Coug?
John Cougar Mellencamp.
Yeah, easy.
Well, did he?
And Friends, who formed the I Hate Rachel Green Club? Never saw an episode of the show.
Me neither.
It's the worst shows. It's the Wilco of TV shows. Go.
Billy. I'll say Billy.
We'll say Ross and the Head Cheer. I hate all these. Will and Ross.
Sneezy.
It was Ross.
I never saw a complete episode of that one.
Congratulations
we're done with
to everyone.
Entertainment.
Oh, well done, everybody.
No, I mean that's probably good for the. If you got any baseball questions, I mean, give me a chance.
Do
a sports round.
I don't like sports, but go ahead.
Which of these players did not set the single record? Which of these players did not set the record for home runs hit in a single season of Major League Baseball? Babe Ruth, Mark McGwire, Roger Maris, Sammy Sosa.
Sammy Sosa.
Wasn't it?
Sammy Sosa.
Sammy Sosa. You're right. What type of sport has a yellow card in it? Soccer. Okay. What city has not hosted the Summer Olympics? Sochi, Beijing, Los Angeles, and Rome. Sochi was winter, right?
Sochi was winter, wasn't it?
Yep, Sochi's right. Hey. How many players are there on the ice at the start of an NHL game?
20. 5.
Damn, that's a huge amount of people.
I really don't
7.
know.
I'd say
10?
12 because the 2 goalies. 5 on 5 and then the 2 goalies. 12. I'm right.
Wow.
How many times have the Minnesota Vikings been in the Super Bowl?
Never.
Twice.
3, 1, 4, 5.
3.
I'll say
1.
3. It's 4. We got it wrong. All right. And that's trivia.
Hey! Well done, everybody.
It's only one baseball question.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
We should look up, for next time, we should look up baseball trivia. It's got to exist somewhere, right?
No, people don't want to hear that shit.
They don't want to hear any of this shit, Dan, but we're doing it.
It's an entertainment show. Come on.
It is.
They want to hear Tom, hold forth.
That's right. Coming up with, what was the gem I came up with? It's I don't know. Who played, I don't know. Never mind.
It was really good.
I pull some stuff out of my butt hind sometimes. Should we thank our patrons? Our patrons over at Patreon? No, you don't think we should? No. You don't think that they did the Lord's work and supporting us and helping us out? We'll beautiful people like Mark Mavora, Captain America, Snoke Porterhouse, Pork Snorterhouse, Matt Carson, Scott Bishop, Private Pile, May Flores, and Bill Turner, that mother scratcher.
Not that mother scratcher.
If you want to be a mother scratcher like Bill Turner and his friends, you should go to patreon.com, patreon.com, TIGER/ditchdiggers, and toss us some bucks. Support the show and you get free stuff. You get early access to the show. You can get postcards from the 3 of us. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful, exciting, fun time over there. Follow us on Twitter, Blues Bros Minute. Go to the Blues Brothers Minute Listeners Hole. Go to wherever you go to get these, wherever you're listening to the show from. I'm sure there's a button to give us 5 stars or put a little review on there or something. Just do that. Spread the word. Mike needs to get out of his foxhole.
Spherical object.
Or resting
in the highway. It wasn't a piece of the car.
It's fucking head in the other. The fucking head in the other.
That's really good.
All right, everybody. Thank you for listening. Please be kind to Star Wars character actors. And please join us next week for the next couple of minutes of the Blues Brothers here on the Blues Brothers Minute.
Hey, you scratched my ankle!